Welcome, dear friends. We are reviewing with you this list of the 10 most dangerous and fiercest dogs in the world. Although dogs are one of the most close animals to humans, where he raises them and uses them for guarding and hunting as well. However, there are the fiercest dogs in the world that are characterized by aggressiveness and pose a great danger to people around them, and therefore need special training and treatment. There are some dogs of strong, violent, and aggressive breeds, according to the American Veterinary Medical Association and the Center for Disease Control in the United States. The 10 most dangerous and most ferocious dog breeds in the world have been listed. 10. Canary dog Presa, chaser of wolves and stray dogs. The Canary dog Brisa was known by this name after its discovery in the Canary Islands of Spain, where farmers used it for guarding and as a repellent for wolves and stray dogs, and was also used against the Indians because of its extreme ferocity. Weighing 125 pounds, reaching a length of 26 inches, the Canary Brisa is a large and muscular dog, attentive, careful, and loyal to its owner to death. 9. Rottweiler is one of the fiercest dogs in the world. Aggressive instinct. Rottweilers are descended from the breed of Derv dogs, whose history was associated with the ancient Roman Empire, where they accompanied the detachments of the Roman army along the Alps to graze their cattle and guard their camps. The Rottweiler is considered one of the fiercest dogs. It has strong jaws, full teeth, a large mouth, and a large body weighing up to 110 pounds, and a length of 26 inches, which qualified it to participate in the 2 World Wars, where it was used to transport first aid, guard, search, and rescue. Despite the aggressive instinct that Rottweiler dogs are characterized by from a young age, this breed is very fond of children, very obedient and eager to work, and they also know how to swim skillfully. 8. Dalmatian dog is considered one of the fiercest dogs in the world, a special nature in bringing prey. The Dalmatian dog is named after the town of Dalmatia in Austria, which is the town that witnessed the origin of this breed of dogs, and it is also called by many nicknames, including Dalmatian or Dalmatian. Dalmatian was originally a hunting dog used by rural hunters to hunt birds, foxes, and rodents, because of its jaws and its nature to bring prey without eating a part of it, and not to sink its teeth into it significantly. The weight of a male Dalmatian dog ranges from 12 to 32 kilograms and its length from 53 to 66 centimeters, while the female ranges from 16 to 24 kilograms and its length from 46 to 64 centimeters. One of the qualities of a Dalmatian dog is its ability to express itself easily, its constant active movement, its love of play, its friendly character. In addition to intelligence and caution, it barks only when necessary, especially when strangers approach. It is eager to please and protect its owner, however it is not friendly with people he does not know. This breed of dogs is characterized by being versatile, suitable for all purposes, especially hunting, in which it excels because of its speed and endurance. 7. Doberman Pinscher, the smartest dog breeds. The original homeland of the Doberman dog is Germany, and this breed was used for guarding or helping the police, but this is no longer common today. This breed is characterized by a compact build, sporty, fast. Her nature is characterized by vigilance, persistence, obedience, and devotion only to her owner, and she is aggressive with strangers. Dobermans rank highly among the most intelligent dog breeds in experimental studies and expert evaluations. For example, biologist Stanley Coren ranked this breed in the 5th place in terms of intelligence within the group of obedience training, based on selective surveys conducted by some trainers. The Doberman dog suffers from a number of health problems such as dilated cardiomyopathy, cervical spine instability, von Willebrand disease, prostate disease, as well as less serious health problems such as hypothyroidism and hip deformity. This breed lives on average from 10 to 14 years. 6. Chow Chow dog bear-like. The Chow Chow dog breed has its origins in China, and although its shape is beautiful and small, it is very difficult to raise it due to its extreme aggressiveness. This dog is distinguished by its soft, dense fur. It resembles huge bears, except that it is a very cute dog that requires special treatment full of affection and love, because if treated brutally, it turns into a very dangerous dog. The Chow Chow dog weighs between 40 to 65 pounds, ranges in length from 18 to 22 inches, and is characterized by the density of its fur, which is more concentrated around the neck, and this is what made many liken it to bears. The breed Chow Chow has spread a lot in the USA because of the beauty of its shape, and its price reaches about $3,000. 5. Boxer Dog, Bull Biter. The Boxer Dog is the result of the crossing of the German Mastiff breed and the English Bulldog, and this dog is so famous for its use in bullring that it was called the Bull Biter, and was used for hunting and grazing livestock as well. A Boxer Dog weighs between 50 to 64 pounds and ranges in length from 20 to 25 inches. Its body is plump, of medium size, its hair is short, it has very strong jaws, and one bite of it is enough to kill any prey. This dog is very stubborn and very strong, which makes it difficult to train him to obey the commands of his owner, and if left without training from a young age until he grows up, he turns into a very aggressive dog and is very dangerous to those around him. 4. The Alaskan Malamute dog is one of the 10 fiercest dogs in the world. Bad mood. Mood plays a big role in shaping the temperament of a Malamute dog. If he feels bored and disappointed, he turns into an aggressive and dangerous dog for those around him, so this breed always needs to feel the attention and care of those around him. The Alaskan Malamute dog is endemic to the icy Arctic, has thick fur to protect it from the cold, weighs about 100 pounds, is up to 28 inches long, has the ability to withstand freezing cold weather, so it is used in cold regions to pull sleds, and its average lifespan is from 12 to 14 years. 3. German Shepherd dog, tracking down criminals and detecting drugs. The German Shepherd, or German Shepherd in German, is a dog breed that takes its name from its native Germany, where it was discovered at the end of the 19th century AD. One of the features of this dog is its extreme attachment to its owner only, loyalty to him, and hostility with strangers, so it is one of the most widespread dogs in the world, and it is used as a police dog in tracking criminals and detecting drugs, and it is also used in wars because of its strength, intelligence, speed, and ease of training. The German Shepherd weighs between 70 to 85 pounds, is 22 to 26 inches long, is of medium size, has a long, almost rectangular mouth, a strong jaw and round eyes, and has an average lifespan of 7 to 10 years. 2. Pitbull is one of the 10 fiercest dogs in the world, the most ferocious. The original homeland of the Pitbull Terrier is the USA. It is a hybrid dog of several canine species. It is characterized by great strength and is feared by most dogs for its ferocity. He is considered one of the loyal dogs to their owners. But her poor breeding and beating makes her treacherous, and he is one of the strongest dogs in the world. This dog is bred on the basis of hunting big game, such as wild boars, distinguished by the fullness of his body and the strength of his muscles. The Pitbull dog, weighing up to 55 pounds and up to 22 inches long, was ranked by the World Organization for the Care of Dogs Against Diseases (CDC) as the most ferocious dog. Because of its aggressiveness, airlines have imposed restrictions on the travel of this dog on airplanes, and insurance companies have also raised insurance prices for it because of its extreme danger to those around it. 1. Siberian Husky, wolf-like dog. The Siberian Husky belongs to the Spitz breed that bred in eastern Siberia, and this breed is distinguished by its medium size, coat density, activity, endurance, especially in very cold conditions. The Husky dog lives in Siberia, weighs between 35 to 55 pounds, its height is between 20 to 24 inches, its age ranges from 12 to 15 years, and it resembles a wolf in character more than other dogs, as it howls like a wolf and rarely barks. If you like the video, don't skimp on us by subscribing to the channel.